just one more minute before we start. There's supposed to be quite a few of us today. It looks like there's only 2, and it looks like Mahesh might be having some issues. However, we're going to get IT on the line. Kawish is joining us. I just reached out to him, as you can probably see on my computer. One of the things I want you to pay attention to is that, yes, we're doing WebEx, and it's unfortunate, but I can't train Teams within Teams. So if you put your cursor on your desktop anywhere, you'll see this toolbar. I really want you to have the chat open and to look at the chat. I have a question in there. What are your expectations? I wouldn't mind to hear about that. And also I have a poll that's available for you. If you can't see it, it's click on the 3 dots for more options and select polling. And then you will have that poll, and I can see that one person's finished it. Awesome. So perfect. That's all I got to say about that, I guess, until we get more people on the line. I'm going to wait a couple more minutes, and then we'll get started whether people join us or not. This could be a nice small class for our... Oh, there we go. Carlton's on the line. And you can see on the toolbar, if you guys want to unmute, I have you all muted, but you can click on definitely the microphone right here and unmute yourselves. Well, there's Kawish. Hello, Kawish. Thank you for joining. I don't know if it would seem like Mahesh is having some issues. I'm not sure. Oh, Maruthi's here. Oh, I don't see any microphones, so they may be having some issues. Pam has joined. Hello, Pam. And you're on a mobile device. Wicked.
Oh, yes.
Love it. Cool. Hope you'll be able to see everything.
And
If you haven't checked out the chat yet, I'm just going to let you know that this session will be recorded. So just to give you a heads up. And for those, again, the poll, if you can't find it, click on the 3 dots for more options and select polling. So those that are on a phone, a mobile, or on the web version, the web app, this is great and everything. Just some of the things may not work. Some of the things that you'll see on my screen, you may not be seeing in your web app, especially like the chevrons are kind of missing. And sometimes the Meet Now button's not there. So just kind of make sure that you're aware of that. Okay, so Kawish, it looks like Maruthi, microphone meeting right now. They're not loading. Does that mean you can't hear? So it looks like Maruthi's having an issue. If you can kind of look at that, that'd be awesome. Thank you very much. Okay. Again, we're supposed to have like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 folks. Right now we're at 6. So I'll give it a couple more minutes and then we're just going to get going. And I can see that 2 folks haven't started, obviously, because they can't get on with our poll. Of course, the dog starts barking before we start the training. That's how it works. Just even like with training face to face, sometimes there's always the system issues, hey, getting everybody up and running and ready to go. So I apologize for the wait, but I'd like to make sure that everybody is good to go before I start. I hear some activity in terms of people logging in and logging back out. Okay, it's 5 after. We have so much to cover that I don't want to. Okay, it looks like Maruthi is ready to go. Mahesh? I'm not sure what's happening with Mahesh, and hopefully Kuish is helping. Okay, well, while we do that, what I'll do is I'll just close this poll and show the poll results. So I love it. So some of us are still in our pajamas. If I actually responded to the poll, I'd be sort of semi in my pajamas. So business on top, not a chance, but I literally just took them out off a moment ago. Awesome. And then of course, no answers, but thank you for participating on that. And then here we go. Have you ever used MS Teams app before? So yes, I'm a power user. Yes, but only a little. So okay, we got a whole bunch. For my power users, always good to kind of have your input if anything's missing or things that you found, team tips and tricks. Please, please, please feel free to throw them in the chat or speak about them. That's all great. Oh, fabulous. Thank you, Kuish. Everybody's good to go. Just going to make sure everybody can hear me. Oh, there he is right there, or her, sorry, right there. Okay, excellent. So we're going to get started. I'm going to just close off this poll. So we've got a lot to cover today. And again, I'm in WebEx. And the reason I'm in WebEx is because in order for me to show you all the features that I want to show you today, I can't train Teams inside Teams. But that doesn't mean that Teams can't be a useful tool for training things with your group on your team. It's an excellent app to use for that as well because of the screen sharing and that functionality, and being able to be an audio call or a video call and files and sharing your screens as well as file sharing. So we've got a lot to cover. Some of you may or may not know, why are we training you in Teams? Why were you invited? So you were invited because your name was on a list that showed us that you were a Skype user. And Microsoft is retiring Skype next July. However, at the end of the summer, here at Metro, we are migrating on over to Teams. So some of the functionality inside Skype will not be available to you. That doesn't mean that some of your external partners that will be using Skype and will be inviting you to meetings, perhaps on Skype, that doesn't mean that you can't do it. Just like with WebEx, that was pretty easy for some. And of course, with Skype, you'll be able to join their meetings. So just kind of wanted to get that out of the way. So everybody who uses Skype for Business will be eventually migrating over to something, Microsoft Teams or something else that's available out there. So I am going to keep your mics muted. That doesn't mean that you can't unmute them. We will have conversations if you have questions. Right now, as you can see, we're a small group, so that really can lead to conversations and questions. But you can definitely use the chat area to throw in your questions there. I may not be able to get to them depending on how many are in there, but I will get back to you all through a chat I'll send out with any information that we are looking at. I notice myself, sometimes I get clicked on mute through WebEx. So if you can't hear me at any time, please let me know as soon as possible, because I would hate for me to be chit-chatting and you guys can't hear me. And again, this session's definitely for you. Really take the opportunity to practice as well as ask questions. I know virtual training is definitely a lot different than face-to-face training and more hands-on, but I do give opportunities for you to practice. Take it, ask the questions, because it is for you. So here we go. Here's our agenda, our little roadmap for this morning and our time together. I'm going to introduce you to what I call the 3 C's: communicate, connect, and collaborate. And of course, I'm going to sprinkle in some navigation. We're actually going to start off with the navigation piece when we get into Teams, just so that we have a better understanding of the interface and all the different features available to you. So the first C is communicate using chat. You can see that chats will be the center of whatever you do in Microsoft Teams, whether it's a one-on-one chat or a one with few. You can have a group chat for up to 300 people. Not sure whether that would be great. That would be really congested and lots of things going on, but the possibility is there. You'll notice that when we do go into chats, there's icons to start an audio or a video call. And when you do that, kind of keep in mind with your group size, anything over 20 people, those icons will be disabled. So I'll mention that again, but just wanted to throw that at you. The second C is connect. So when we're connecting with meetings, we're connecting, we're scheduling, we're attending, we're running meetings. What I want you to understand here is that in a meeting, there is work that can be done prior to the meeting, and there's work that can be done within the meeting when we're collaborating on files. And of course, there is work to be done at post meeting. And you're really going to see what that looks like in here. After we start inviting people into a Teams meeting. And then, of course, the collaboration, that's really where the big bang is for using Microsoft Teams. Here, you can file share, you can collaborate at the same time in real time. You can see where people are working within that particular file, whether it's Excel, PowerPoint, Word. Of course, we always had that availability in Smartsheet, but we can do that in Teams as well. So there's definitely a lot of flexibility. Next, I'm going to show you our learning objectives. And really, these are the expectations I have for you enabled to what you're going to get out of the session. So really, what I want you to get out of this is being able to navigate inside Teams, being a little bit more comfortable. This class is by no means you're going to walk out of here in an hour and a half and know everything. Definitely not. There is a lot to learn inside Teams, and a lot of your comfortability will come from playing around in Teams on your own. So keep that in mind. And then, of course, I'm going to show you how to start chats several different ways and then go into formatting and composing your chats in a more efficient and effective way. And then we're going to go in and we're going to schedule a meeting. We're going to look at Meet Now and what does that look like, and look at all the features that are available to you. And then, of course, we're going to do some file share. I'm going to show you how to file share. And again, all of these videos, I did create videos. They are on our self-serve portal under Teams. I also sent out a guide, and if I haven't, please let me know. Some of you may not have received it. That has the links to the videos, has all of our frequently asked questions, and everything that is in there is definitely geared towards how Metro is going to be using Microsoft Teams. There's a lot of information on Microsoft Teams on the web, and again, that's for all of their features, not necessarily what we have being used here at Metro. So again, we have lots of resources for you, and you can always reach out to myself if you want to learn something or you want to ask questions. After this session, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. So those are the learning objectives I have for you today. Any questions before we get started? As I slurp, sorry about that. Can throw that in a chat. Do you have any expectations that you want to have reach within this training? I didn't see anything above, so I'm just going to say that you guys are good to go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into Teams. And you'll see here we are. This is the look and feel of Teams. And I'm just going to give you a broad overview of what you're seeing here. Lots of activity happening in my Teams. I'm going to start over here at the right-hand side and then move towards the left, a little bit backwards. So right here, you can see where my profile picture is. If I click on my profile picture, you can see I have many more options under there. We're going to definitely look in here and spend some time. In the middle, we have a search bar, and there's a lot of activity that happens within this search bar. You will use this search bar quite frequently while you're using Teams. It's a great way to navigate with inside Teams, take you to different areas with inside Teams. Over here on the left of the search bar is an icon for new chat. This is the best practice to kind of start your chats. I don't know about you, but I do tend to send text to people that I may not have wanted to. And I've already seen some of that happen here where people have sent me things inside Teams that wasn't supposed to go to me, but to someone else. But no fret, it wasn't very, you know, high secrecy or anything like that. So really going in here is the best practice. And then again, over to the far left is where we have our chevrons. So some on the web app or maybe on your mobile app, you will not see some of this, but this just allows me to go in back and forward into different windows that I've already had open inside Teams where I've been looking. So you can see my screen, my virtual workspace, which is that large work area within Teams, is changing and it's opening up to different areas and where I've worked in and areas where I've sent people messages. On the far left-hand side here, this is where you have the panel, and this is where we have all of our views. So there's my activity view, and you can see you're seeing some red circles with numbers. So this has everything to do with how my notifications are set up, and we're definitely going to spend some time there today. But you can see I've got some notifications in my chat area and in my Teams view. I've got a calendar view, calls view, and files view. While I have you here at the files view, I'm going to click that open, and you can see these are all of the files that I have been working on. These are not necessarily all of the files that I have shared with people. So if I want to work on a file on my own, I can do it through this particular area. But if I am working on a file with somebody else, I will be going into that individual chat, into that individual files tab and collaborating there. So there's the difference there. This three dots is all about apps. So these are some of the apps that we can use while we're inside Teams. So I can add a smart sheet if I have a license, Microsoft Streaming. So anytime you record a video, anytime you record a conversation, anytime you record an audio call, video call, or a meeting, it will get saved inside that particular chat meeting, but it also gets saved inside your own Microsoft Streaming library if you are the one that was hosting the meeting. So that's good to know, and you can see that there. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to go straight down to help and skip on the apps here. Those apps are the third-party apps. We'll have training with them a little bit later within the next couple of months. But down here at the Help tab, I'm going to just click on it. You can see there's an area for suggesting a feature. So you're working inside Teams and you're like, wow, I wish it did this. I wish it did that. You can go in there and suggest a feature. Microsoft is definitely working diligently on augmenting Microsoft Teams to satisfy a lot of the people that are migrating over. And where you would see here is what's new. So every 2 weeks, approximately, Microsoft is putting up here what new features they've added to Microsoft Teams. So you can see just this past week, excuse me, they've added more controls to their meeting options. So you can see there's links to get more information. It gives you high level information on how you can join team meetings. You can also see here, July 24th, they've added a meet now or a schedule a meeting right inside a channel. So when you attend session number 2, you can see that feature, or you can look in at any time, obviously, in a channel that you may be a part of, and a meet now. And what that does, it provides a meet now for the group that's inside that channel. So again, this is a really good practice to kind of go into what's new periodically to see what's happening. Going to take us back into here, which is our activity feed. And I'm going to start right here. It is best practice to start looking at your activity feed. Everything that you see in here will be based on whether or not it was an @mention, whether you personally or any kind of activity that's happening inside your teams and channels. And you can see here is the feed. This section here, which is on the right side of the panel, this is what you call the quad. And in this area, you can see your feeds. And when you go into chatting or when you go into channels, you can really organize what you're seeing and what you're working on in that area. You can see here is our feed, and it's going to go from most recent. You can see here is someone mentioned me in a chat. So it's kind of still bold because I haven't read or looked at it. So what's great about here is that right along the top beside feed, you'll see this filter icon. If I click on it, it provides me with the 3 dots. Anytime you see 3 dots with inside Teams, that just means there's more options. Please play around, look, can't break it, investigate, see what's going on. So here I am going to filter my feed, and you can see I can do it by unread. And what that does is it brings up all the unread that I haven't seen. So maybe these are the things that I will focus on. Or if I can go back up and filter, I can go at mentions. So I can see all of the at mentions, whether it was at mentioning me or at mentioning a general channel or any other channel that I'm a part of, right? So you can see down here, Wonder Woman mentioned me. Hall of Justice is my team. Open Investigations Cheetah is my channel. Okay, so if I go and click on that, it takes me right into my channel. And this is, again, my virtual workspace. So now my virtual workspace has changed from my activity into my channel. And I can see where I was at mentioned. Okay, so that's a way to navigate within your activity feed. If I go again, and that's my activity feed, my filtering and my feed, I'm going to draw your attention to the far right side to my profile. So I'm going to click on my profile picture. It is best practice to throw your picture up there as opposed to just having your initials. We are having people join Metro all the time, even through this COVID time. What's nice is that they can see whether you're parts of projects together. You guys can see each other. So when we do see each other face to face again, which I hope is soon, you will be, hey, I know who you are. I saw you. We were part of that project, etc. Really easy to change your picture. Just click on change picture, upload picture. I can change myself to Aquaman. Wouldn't that be fun? Double click on the picture, save and close, but I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to just add my picture, save and close. So very simple. You'll notice when you do that, it does take some time to sync. It didn't go. Close. Depending on my Wi-Fi, I find sometimes I have some issues. I'm just going to upload the picture again, save and close. You'll notice in the next couple of minutes, it will sync up there. It'll sync with your web app and your mobile as well. So we're just going to leave that for a second there. You can see right now that my status is in a meeting that's being driven from Outlook, from my calendar there, but I can definitely change it. So right now I'm in a training situation, so I do not want to be disturbed. So I'm actually going to change my status from in a meeting to do not disturb. And when I do that, you'll notice right at the top underneath my search bar, I get a message up there saying, hey, you're do not disturb. Are there anybody out there, part of your team, where you still want to see the notifications coming through? If I do, I'm just going to go along here and see where the link is to change settings and click on change settings. When I do that, my settings area will populate and it will take me right to my privacy tab and to my do not disturb. And I'm just going to click on manage priority access. And when I do that, you can see I already have Jennifer Tanko already set up. However, Jennifer is away. She's on out of office on vacation. So I may want to add somebody else like Charlene so that I will see her notifications coming through in my do not disturb. You can see there she's busy at the moment, but very easy to move and to add. I'm just going to close that down so I will see any of their notifications coming through. So that's pretty simple. Going to go back up to my profile and you can see I can actually send a status message. So I can say, hey, at Jennifer Tango will be your contact if I'm not available. I can see when people message me. I can clear my status message after today, or I have options, hours, 4 hours today, this week, or I can customize it by time. So that's a nice option for everybody. Saved. I like this area. You can see if I click on saved over here on the far left in my quad area, you can see that I have 2 messages saved. One of them is from Pam, who's on the line with us. And what I've done is she created this lovely distribution list for me. So I want to be able to, instead of scroll through all of my messages in my channel general, I can just save that message. And again, very simple. right? Anytime, any message when I'm in my post or in my chat, I can respond. I can go to my three dots, more options. I can save this message. And again, when you do that, it's going to be saved over here in this quad area, which I have access to right from my profile. To remove one, all I do is click on that little saved icon and there it's gone. You can see that's the one I just added actually right up there because it will be sorted by most recently. And I can remove it by clicking on that icon. Back up to my profile, I'm going to go into settings. Settings is where you're going to spend some time as you're getting more familiar within Teams. So it takes me right to the general, and as you can see, I can change my theme. So that's the look and feel. Change it to dark. What you're going to see here, about 70% of the blue light is being removed, or high contrast if there's a need. You can see there, that's what it looks like. And again, to change that, all I have to do is go back to settings. And to do that for a shortcut, I can click on, press Control and comma, and then it brings me right back to my settings. I'm just going to go back to the default. You can see here under application, I have a few things that I've decided that I'd like. I'd like to start the Teams application, desktop application, when I log into my computer or when I restart my computer for the day. And I also have the application running in the background for my mobile app, etc. You can check these out in a few minutes. And languages. You can change the language of what you see, the look and feel of Microsoft. So anything that's Microsoft driven, once you change this language, let's say you change it to French, anything that is Microsoft driven, headings, titles, any of these things here, general privacy notifications, anything that you're seeing in here would be changed to the language you select. Once you do select a language, I'm just going to do that right now, just show you quickly. It will shut down that application for you and restart. Hello. Sometimes it wants to play with me and sometimes it doesn't. So let's go into French and then save and restart. So now you can see everything is in French. If I go into my settings again by Control comma, hello, there we go, everything is in French. So anything that is Microsoft driven. But if I were to send you a chat or anything, file sharing would be in the language I'm sending it. I'm just going to go right back into English. And again, it's going to shut me down. It's going to start. And there we go. And again, I'm going to get back into settings. Here we are. So you guys can take some time there. Privacy, we've already seen some of it with priority access. Again, you can block calls from no caller ID, read receipts, whether or not you want people to see when you've read what they've sent, all up to you. And of course, you can participate in surveys with Microsoft. Easy breezy. I click on the slide, open, and it now will send me surveys, or I can turn it off. But notifications is really the area where you're going to spend some time. So at mentions, whether someone's sending you an at Bev Tiger, at channel, or at team, going to receive it in some form. So, because it's very important when someone sends you an app message, they really want you to pay attention to what they are sending, whether they're letting you know that a file has been added to your files tab. Can you please work on this? Can you work on that? They will do an at mention. So you can see here, there are several different options to receive your information or your at mentions, notifications, banner and email, banner or only show and feed. I have it set up only showing feed. And what that means is that I will see it here in my panel in my activity feed. Any of my app mentions will be here really, like, again, right, I can filter on my @ mentions, and that really makes sure that I've got everything under control. I'm not missing any communication or any, perhaps any to-dos that my manager may be sending me, or if I'm part of projects and someone wants information from me, they could do @BevTigert, and I would see that here in my feed. If it's in your banner, that means that it's coming down here on the left-hand side. It would show up in a banner. And of course, banner email, you'll see it in the banner, as well as you'll receive an email that someone has mentioned you. So that's always good. You kind of want to make sure that these are set up to where you want them. Same thing with messages. So for instance, right now I have any chat messages that come through, they'll be coming through on a banner. And what's beautiful about that is that when they do come through, I could be working on PowerPoint, I'd be working in a warehouse management system, and down here at the right-hand side, it will come up in a banner. And I can show you that really quickly. I'm just going to change my Do Not Disturb to Available. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Wonder Woman send me a chat, and we'll see. Let's make sure that I'm in my activity. Yep, I'm in my activity because I want it to come through. So I'm going to go into my chat, and there I am. And hello. So there it is. There's my banner. You can see that at the bottom. And I could be in PowerPoint wherever I am, and I can respond there. Hello. At 2 p.m. Okay, and send it right from there. So it's a really good way to kind of keep in control of the message that you'll be sending. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my settings, back into notifications, and again, you're going to go down here. You can see that there's some other team membership changes that you may want to change your notifications for meetings. I'm going to draw your attention to status and managing this. So let's say I needed to speak with Charlene. I noticed that Charlene was on red, that she's in a meeting, but I want to make sure that I'm going to turn off Jennifer and turn off, make sure that I am notified when Charlene is available. So I can add anybody here. And I'm going to add Charlene back in here. You can see that she's available, but that's great. But if I were to, if she were to go red and then go back to green, I will be notified, and hopefully we'll see that through our training as we go. So I'm going to leave that there, but you can see I can turn it off just as easily as adding her. And I'm just going to close that box. Get back into settings. So that's notifications. Going to give you some time to play with that in a few minutes. Devices, this is a real good opportunity before you start going to meetings and attending meetings. You can make sure that all of your audio, speaker, microphone things are working. You can make a test call. You can see your camera. Right now I have it off, but if I wanted to put myself on, I would definitely do that, and I would see myself there. Here, for anybody that's in Microsoft Windows less than 10, you may have to go in and search for settings, camera settings, and add that to there. So you can pay attention to that if you're having problems when you are in a meeting and no one can see you and that you want them to. So just to make sure that you're seeing there, that's all here. And then permissions all about apps and calls. So really what I want to show you here is configure your voicemail. So you can record a greeting. And when you do that, it looks like a phone call. The operator will take you through the steps on how to do your greeting. Your little keypad will pop up, and that's how you follow through with the operator. To close that down, I'm just going to hang up, and then my voicemail will be configured, and off we go. Anybody calls me, they will have that message. Actually, I'm going to show you that back here in calls. Again, back in settings. You can also do a custom greeting text to speech. Okay, and customize it there. And your out of greeting, you want to have it on all the time. So there's different things you can do here, your defaults, etc. So we're going to spend some time in there in a few seconds. Back up to my profile. There's my profile picture. So it did take some time to sync, but there it is. You can see here can do different zoom shortcuts for your keyboards for those that like shortcuts. There are so many. I just showed you the one for getting into your settings, which was Control Comma, but you can see here there's definitely a lot of others. You can accept an audio call. or a video call by going through Control-Shift-A or Control-Shift-S, you can see there. So those are fun. And again, check for updates, you can sign out, but that's pretty much what I'm going to show you there. I'm going to take you right to the middle for our search bar. And as soon as I click into there, use my cursor and click into that area, you'll see the last 5 things I've done. Wonder Woman, I've done a front/chat. I've had a conversation with Christine, right? I've had a group meeting, and I've talked to Aninda. So right here, you can say look for messages, files, and or type front slash. So there's lots of different things we're going to do in here. So I'm just going to go in and click on front slash. And when I do that, you can see all the different commands that I can do. So I can change my work statuses, right? Available, away, be right back, busy. I can make a call from here. Let's do that. And when I call from there, I can throw Wonder Woman in there and make a call, and she will answer it on her end. I'm going to just mute her. Perfect. So as you can see right there, we are in a phone call. What you'll notice is my toolbar for my phone call. This is basically all the same, whether I'm doing an audio call, video call, or meeting. If I'm doing a meeting where it was a one-on-one, it'll look exactly like this. If I'm in a meeting with more than three or more people, what will show up here actually is a raise hand so that people can raise hands to ask questions. So that's great. You can see here I can add other participants. So it started with Wonder Woman, but I could add Aquaman to this call. It will call Aquaman and it'll let us know whether or not he's available to join. Oh, he's not available. But what I want you to see here is this all started from my search, right? I did a command front/call. What I'm going to do now is you'll notice too, I just want to show you my more actions are all the same, whether I'm in a meeting with 1, 2, 400, it doesn't matter. Background, full, I can start recording. When I start recording, this is good for everybody. Anytime you are recording a meeting, you want to make sure that you are also verbalizing that you are recording. All right, guys, I'm recording. You can see that message right at the top, letting you know that I'm recording this message, and we're all good to go to be on our best behavior. So that shows that. I can also go back in here and stop recording, right? So I can cancel it to continue, or I can stop recording. And what happens, you can see here, remember I was saying when there's more than 3 people added to this, even though Aquaman's really not here, it still now gives us the ability to raise our hand. So what that looks like is that Wonder Woman, oh, look at that, she's raised her hand. So that just makes the presenter know that, hey, she's got a question that she can ask. Okay, you can also see I can actually add some chat, right? So sometimes people are talking, you don't want to interrupt, but you have a question. Hey, have a question. So you can add that there. And what happens there is that the presenter will start seeing some notifications there. Also, I can go into my show participant and again, add some more people. I can dial a number, internal, external. So there's lots of flexibility there. So this is telling me, hey, Wonder Woman still has her hand raised. So Wonder Woman can lower her hand or I can lower her hand from over here. Okay, so I'm just gonna hang up and Wonder Woman is gone as well. And I just want you to see something. I'm going to show you the sequence again. I started up here in my search by going front slash and call, right? That's where we started, and I started with Wonder Woman. Then I started adding people through show participants. And over here in my chat area, I now have a new group chat with the 3 people that we had in here. And you can see here, recording has stopped. So now it's saving my recording. So once my recording is good to go, that recording from that meeting will stay in this group chat. Lots of stuff that you can do there. So I'm going to pause on that right there. So when we go into chats, we'll definitely see more of those features. But all of that happened from up here in my search by clicking on my front. I'm going to get out of here. I don't want to call anybody. By clicking here in my search bar, putting in my front slash, and you can see there's so much more I can do. I can go into files so I can see the most 10 recent files I've been working on. So I don't have to go into a chat to do any work. I can go right up here and work in it. It'll take me right to the place where this resides. So I just clicked on opening test document, right? And here I am, and now I can work on this particular file inside Teams. Other people could be working on it as well, and that is where we talked about file sharing and collaboration. So again, that's all from our search bar. So lots of good stuff there. So I'm going to stop you at this time. It is now 11:39, and I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. And what I would like you to do is to go into your profile, add a picture if you don't have one, go into your settings and go into notifications, making sure you have what you want here all set up to receive your notifications. And the last thing that I want you to do is I want you to go into your search bar, click and you do your front slash and navigate a little bit that way. If you have any questions, this is a great time to go. Throw them in chat, or you can unmute your mic and we can chit chat. So you've got about 5 minutes. It's 11:40 now. Give you to about 11:45. I'll check in. If you need more time, we'll go from there. Okay. I'm also going to throw up a poll so that you can see an answer in that. So lots of activity. Off you go. Give you 5 or 6 minutes depending on what you need. Excellent. Any questions before I do that? I love it. Thank you very much. You're all good. Okay, so if you have any questions, folks, please, please, please ask me. Again, notifications, put your picture up there and play around in the search bar using the front slash and going into command. You can even try to attempt to call Wonder Woman, anything you want. Everybody's good. Okay. I see a chat. Oh, come through with Wonder Woman. Excellent. So you must have done the at or the chat part. That's great. And that was what time is it? Yeah. Perfect. So you can definitely give Wonder Woman a call. She can answer and you can see what that looks like. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, we've got 1 more minute. I saw 1 chat come through. Can everybody still hear me? This virtual training is bizarre. Thank you. Thanks, Ruthie. Yay, thank you very much. Good. Oh, perfect. Yeah, excellent. So there's a few of you coming through. I'm going to send some stuff back to you so you can see whether or not your activity is working well and you have it all set up. All right. How did that feel for everybody? I know some of you, hopefully, did you change some notifications? Did any of you find some interesting stuff in the search? Excellent. I'm going to, yeah, good. Oh, good. Change the profile pic. Perfect. I love it. All right. So that's a lot of information. So now what we're going to do, oh, I forgot to put up the poll. I'll do that in a little while. We'll do that poll in a moment. So what I wanted to show you is now chatting. So again, you can see over here my chat view. So if I go into my chat view, pretty much looks the same like your activity view, right? Still have your quad area. You still have your virtual workspace, which is great. This is where all the magic happens. And look at that. From our call earlier, from our search area, there's our recording. So you can see that it resides in that particular chat that I had with these guys. And you can see more dots. So I can I can share with others. So really nice functionality there for when people can't I love it. People can't that they can't come to your meeting and they may not want to miss anything. So they can definitely be shared in terms of this one. Where Aquaman was already a part of it. So he would have this already and they can go to it at any time. So just going to start with the basics on how to send chats. Again, I talked about our best practice up here. So when I do that and I click on it, you can see here, I can enter a name, group, and etc. and other people. So I'm going to add Wonder Woman. And I already have a chat going with Wonder Woman, as you know. So when I do that, it brings up all of the chats that we have. So that's that persistence chatting that we were talking about. So there it is, files, etc. Everything that would be attached here will stay here. Okay, but you'll notice that Teams is saying, hey, did you want to add anybody else to this group? If I didn't want to add anybody else to that group, all I would do is come back or come down to the compose box and put my cursor in there. Now that conversation is just with Wonder Woman and I. Okay, so that is the best practice to do that. That way I won't make mistakes by clicking over here. Here I am with Deanna, but then guess what? I meant to be with Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and now I'm getting everything kind of confused. So that's why that's the best practice. Or another way to communicate is again at the search, I can put at and I can put Wonder Woman in there. Click on Wonder Woman. I can type a quick message right there, right now, and say, hey, thanks, and got it, right? If I had the file, boom, off it goes. That will be sent in, and guess what? There's Wonder Woman there, and there it is. There's my message. So I can chit chat that way. Of course, in my quad area, there's lots of things going on in here. You can see here, I'm in my recents tab, and in my recents tab, I can organize the groups I'm chatting with by pinning them in my pin section, or you can see here, I have another section called recents, and it will always give me the most recent in the list. When I do pin, let's say I pin a chat again, I'm just going to go over here to my more options and pin. Very easy. I can drag and drop in the pin section depending on who I want to have there. Okay, so there's Deanna. I'm going to put Charlene back up there. Oh, wait a minute, Wonder Woman. You can do whatever you want. To unpin somebody, all you do is, again, 3 dots, and I am going to unpin. Okay, so then Charlene comes down here to my recents. A lot of the questions I get right here are, hey, how do I delete a chat? Can I delete more than one chat at a time? The answer is no, you cannot delete chats, and no, you cannot delete chats all at one time, more than one. But what you can do to organize your chat area is to hide them. So if I go over here to my test ZZ and I hide them, click on more options, and right there I hide. So what that does in essence is it cleans up this area, because it can get kind of confusing. Maybe we're done a project and we use chats to organize that project, and share our files. But what that really does is allows me to kind of clean them up afterwards. So the question then becomes, well, how do I get them back? So again, I can come up here to my search function and I can start a conversation with Charlene. So what happens there, all of my chat history with Charlene will come up and it's all great there. All of it from right when we started. You'll notice that she's also a part of here under my recents. I can also remember I had the other one, test. So you can see I've used test quite a bit. I can go into any of these, even though it's July 10th, back in the day, July B from July 6th, or the one that I wanted. And there I am. So that's how you hide and unhide. So that's very important to know when you want to clean up the area. You're never deleting. Inside Teams, you really don't delete. So if I go to Wonder Woman, and let's say I've sent a message earlier that I want to delete, I go to that message, I go to the three dots, and I click on it and I delete. What happens there is that Wonder Woman will no longer see that message. Okay, what she's seeing on her side is that it is deleted. A message is gone. Um, and then when I want to undo that message and bring it back, I click undo. And what happens there is now it will populate back onto Wonder Woman's view. So there's different ways that we can do that. So keep in mind, nothing's deleted. Alrighty, so again, anytime you see those three dots, you do want to play around with it, select and see. You can see here muting just means you're not going to receive any notifications from that person or that group. When I am in a chat, I can also go to contacts. I can go to contacts here and start a contact, double click on it, which allows me to pop out. And what pop out a chat means is that it makes this particular chat an individual chat, an individual window, meaning I can be in PowerPoint, I can be in another warehouse management system, and I can still get to Donna by going Alt Tab, and you can see there, just like any other window you want to open, it will populate right there. Okay, and to close her down, it's no big deal. I just go back into my Teams, and you can see right here in my Teams application, there's the window for Donna, and I'm just going to close her off. And we're going to get into that in a little second as well. Bye-bye. All right, and go back into Teams. So that happened all from contact, sorry. Back into recents, I'm going to go back into my Wonder Woman chat, and here in our virtual workspace, you can see right at the top, I've got many tabs. So the first one is the chat where you're seeing all of the conversations happening. The second one would be Files tab, and this would show any of the files that I have working with Wonder Woman. As you can see, we don't have any together right now, but that's easy to solve. I can go here, click on share, and I can share a file from my OneDrive, or I can upload it from my computer, and I'm going to do that right here. I'm going to show you how easy that is. And I'm just going to double click on it. And then you can see uploading one file, it's happening. You can see down there, I'm sharing it. I'm going to also show you in the chat area, you can see that I'm sharing the file there. Now, what should happen is that file should be there for me. But I'm noticing right now because of my bandwidth, everybody being on here, I'm not really sure. But what's happening is that that's not really happening right now. It definitely will. We'll see that at the end of the session. It will definitely migrate into over here. So I'm just going to show you something else, even though it's not in my files tab. From my chat tab, I can open up that file and I can work on it. And you can see here, I've opened it up. It really looks like a Word document and behaves as such. You can see that Wonder Woman is actually working in it right now as well. So that is the benefit with sharing all of our file sharing. You can see that Wonder Woman's made some changes. I can see right here by her changes where she is. You can see all over here in our conversation tab. All of the conversations are over there, and we can add to it from there. Okay, so we can send messages here. Hey, I need this. Okay, and send it there, and away we go. We can send comments as well. Add a new comment. I like this. Oops, and send. Okay, so you can see there's my message. Wonder Woman sees it on her end. It's lovely. Any questions so far? Yes. So notifications for outside folks. You can add people to chat. I'm going to say that it's more of a one-to-one basis. And when you add them, you're using their full email address. So yeah, you will see their notifications from them if you're in a chat one-on-one. In teams and channels, it's a lot easier to add outside external people to more than right? You're adding them to a channel or to a team channel, and that allows the frequency to go back and definitely have more in the conversation. But for chat, it works best with one-on-one when you're with an external. But thank you, good question, excellent. Okay, so to close out of that, I'm going to show you one more thing. In files, you can see here, I can open up this file in a browser. And so when you do that, it opens up into a browser tab. Sorry, give me un momento. It didn't do this earlier, so that's interesting. So there's my tab. So you can see here, I will see it looks the same. Wonder Woman is still working on it, and so am I. I'm going to make changes. I'm going to highlight here. I can see again where Wonder Woman is. I can actually share it with an external person as well. So there's lots of different flexibility here to work within it as well. So I'm just going to close that down. And to close it down, I'm just going to close down that window. And again, we can have all the comments, add comments, etc. So I'm going to close that window down. And I'm going to go back into Teams, and you can see what happens. All done, but I'm going to continue in here. And you can see there's my changes that I made up in the browser. So it all syncs. Lovely. So just to kind of get out of there, that was all from my chat area and files by going into files and adding and sharing. Again, my file's not here, and it really should be. Even if Wonder Woman's in it, anytime you work in a file together, it will definitely reside in your files tab. Unfortunately, it's just not showing it, but you can see that we worked on it in the chats function. Okay. So there's that flexibility there. I wanted to bring your attention down across the way to organization. Really, there's nothing much here. Anytime you put your cursor over somebody's profile, you have different options. It's called a postcard, and what that is allowing you to chat. You can send them an email, do an audio or a video call right from here, or message right from there. Over here to the right, if I continue going right, you'll see these wonderful icons. That's if I want to make a video call or an audio call and screen share. So again, remember you can have over 300 people in a chat, but what you want to make sure that these two icons, the audio video calls, they are disabled after 21 people, well, more than 20. Okay, so kind of keeping that in mind. I'm going to go right here and make a video call. I'm going to be calling Wonder Woman. I'm just going to show you how similar it is to everything else that we've been shown already, right? I'm going to go into it. She's going to respond. I'm going to mute that. So there's Wonder Woman. Again, here's all of our options. I can start a conversation. We can add participants. We can do all of the more options, everything that was in there. Transfer, I can put the person on hold. So there's lots of different varieties that we do there right from our chat section. So lots of wonderful ways to hold conversations. Same thing would apply if I did an audio call. And now I'm going to share my screen. So screen sharing, very easy. Click on that. Best practice is to really click on your desktop. Why? Because it just makes it easier. You'll know you're wanting to share maybe something in PowerPoint, and then someone asks you about something else. Now you have to open up a document in Word. When you do it in your desktop and you're sharing in your desktop, right? So we're doing that. You can see she didn't respond. That didn't really give her a lot of time to respond. To do that, share, you always want to do your desktop. It allows you to have the flexibility of moving around from all your desktop apps and all the files that you have open instead of getting out, going back in, getting out and going back in. So yeah, no matter if it's a Meet now, any kind of meeting, anytime you want to share your screen, best practice to definitely do that in your desktop. Now, we've got two little icons over here. All of this is in a video that I had mentioned earlier that you can get from the Self Portal. There's an add people as well as pop-out chats. So I'm going to show you right now this conversations with Wonder Woman and I'm going to start adding people. Click on add people, and I'm going to add Aquaman. And I'm going to just click on add. So you can see, oh, wait a minute, we've already had a conversation before, right? There's Aquaman, there's Wonder Woman. You'll remember this happened when we did it from the search area when I went /call, called Wonder Woman and added Aquaman. So you'll see there is that recording, right? So right now, that's fantastic. Anytime you have a chat with 3 or more people, you can give it a name. Really, you want to give it a name because you may refer back to this chat later on. Again, you're going to be searching for these chats because maybe you're hiding them. So getting into best practice of naming these chats is great. So I'm just going to call this July training 31. Okay, so there we go. In gray, nope. Training. All right, and I'm going to save it. You can edit that name at any time, no big deal. So now this has a name. Now I want to add somebody to it. So you can see when I click on that icon, add people, I have different options. I can actually boot Aquaman out. So if I boot him out, it tells me, all right, you're removing Aquaman from the chat. He still has access to all of the previous chats. He just won't have access to anything going forward. So if I wanted to remove him, I would just select remove. Okay, but I'm not going to do that at that time. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to add people. When I add people, there's lots of things that happen. So let's say I'm going to add Superman. Now it's giving me the option to not include any of the chat history, or if I want to include some of that chat history, how many days back do I want to add them, or do I want to include all of the chat history? And when I do that, he'll have access to all of the recordings that we did. This is really depending on why you're adding people to a group chat. You want them up to speed, but maybe there was personal stuff that you may not have wanted them to do, but you definitely may want to include all the chat history. So I'm going to add all the chat history. You can see there I added Superman to chat and shared all chat history. Going to come down here. Okay, thanks, welcome aboard, and sending it. So now everybody's seeing it, and all is good to go. So anytime you're adding more people, you just do that. I could have added more people. I could have added Batman at the same time, if you know what I mean. If I knew I was going to be adding more people, you would want to do it all at the same time if you're going to give them all access to the same thing. So that's pretty good. Popping out a chat, we saw it when I did it from contacts. You can do it so many different ways. I can pop out this chat by clicking on this icon. So you can see there's that chat. It's free floating. I can double click on a chat and that opens it up again, becomes free. I can go here and you can see there's my open pop out chat there. I can do that there. And you can see if I come down here, I go to my more options and I can pop out a chat that way. So now when I go down to my desktop app, I have all of these chat open. So if I were to go into PowerPoint and I'm working on something and I want to send somebody a message, I can go Alt Tab and I can get to a chat, right? And start a chat there. I can open up other chats. July training there. So again, multiple usages, making us more efficient. To close these windows, I just close them off. And I come down here, close off Wonder Woman, close off Dion, and get back into Teams. So that's how you kind of the look and feel and how we use our tabs and how we use adding people and popping out chats. I'm going to give you a moment in a minute to practice that, but I want to come down here to my compose box. Again, I can just clip in here and go hello, press enter, and off I go. But really the best practice is to click on that A, which is our format. Then now you open up a compose box. You have more flexibility. You can put bold. This could be post-dinner conversation, right? Enter, take that bold off. I can put a line in there to kind of give it a little bit more definition. I can go back to my more options and I can insert a table. I can delete my table by going into it. Oh, I just made it bigger. I'm going to undo that by undo typing. So I'm back at my table. Whoa, it keeps on doing that. Hold on one more time. So if I come here and I want to delete this table, I have to highlight the table, press delete to get rid of it, especially if there's been work in there. Or if you just created it, I can go undo. So there's definitely lots of flexibility there. You can also see down here, I've got my exclamation point, right? Make it important. Or if I make it urgent, you can see there, I get a message. It's going to notify the recipient for 20 minutes, every 2 minutes of that 20 minutes that they have a urgent message. Remember how I added a file up here by share? If I'm in chat and I'm composing a message, I can also using here clipboard and I can upload it from my computer. And I double click on it and it'll bring it down here. Oh, I already have that. I can replace it. So it'll let you know that, hey, you've already got that out there. Do you want to replace it? I can say yes or no, make a new one, or go back into my files and chat and work from it there. So remember that what I just did is replaced it, meaning it should still have everything that I worked on. Everything is still synced, especially if I shared the file. Okay, so you just got to be careful around that type of stuff. But you can see here, I've added the file for today's purposes. I can add emojis, I can add GIFs, I can add stickers. So there's different things that you can add down here. Okay, so there's lots of ways of adding things here. I want to show you one other thing, but I don't want to be here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send this message on off to Wonder Woman. There we go. I'm going to go into our group chit chat that we had here, right, with all of the folks. And right in here, my compose box, I can actually say, hey, sending meeting notice. And what you can see down here, I have an icon. So I'm kind of moving away from files at this point and moving into calendar. But don't worry, we're going to have some time to practice and ask questions. So right now, I'm in a chat. I'm in a group chat. There are 4 of us in this group chat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this one, this little icon, schedule a meeting. And what that's doing is it's allowing me to send a meeting to the people in this group without having to add their names. It's all there. And I'm just going to call this training July 31. Thank you very much, Maruthi. Have a great weekend. I'm going to add it there. And you can see we can add some details. Maybe I want to add the agenda, etc. You can also see that I can add channels. So that's for session number 2, adding channels, but you can see that the access is there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this meeting. Okay, so I'm going to send that message, sent that meeting. I'm going to go into my calendar and I'm going to go into that meeting. And there it is in my calendar. Open that up. Now, when I sent that Teams meeting, there wasn't a space in there for me to add a file. But now that I've sent it, remember I talked about meetings being able to work during the meeting and post? This is exactly what I was talking about. Right at the top of our meeting, you can see I've got a new chat tab. I've got a files tab. I can do a scheduling assistant because you can see right now everybody's in red, so they're not available. I can add meeting notes and I can do a whiteboard. So for instance, with files, I'm going to share a file with this meeting that I want them to work on. I'm going to upload it, implement I'm going to drag and drop. Please don't. Oh, stop it. Cancel. Share. OneDrive. Or sorry, I didn't mean to go OneDrive. Chat files, let's see something down. Let's go icebreakers and share. Okay, so you can see there that I'm shared a file. I can go over here into meeting notes and we can take some notes to start them off. You can see here kind of sets up a little bit of an adjustment. So here's where you can put the agenda and you can put all the points that you want to add, who's doing what, blah, 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 blah. I can actually go into a whiteboard and start a whiteboard. This takes some time at the beginning. Some people like using whiteboards. Sometimes it's fun. I find it very difficult, but let me see here. I'm going to use a red pen. Thank you. Okay, so there's our whiteboard. I can start a chat or continue a chat. Thank you. Right, thanks, enter. So this is all done in my calendar invite. If I'm ready to join, I can join right now, or right now I'm going to close. But what I want to show you what happened when I did all of that. See, that's my meeting, training July 31st. If I go into my chat now, you'll see I have a notification. But what I want to show you right here is under my recent, you can see here with this icon that this is a calendar meeting, right? That this came from my calendar and I'm going to open it up. So now the work that I put into my calendar invite is now in a chat. So I can work now in this chat on the files that were sent. I can work on the meeting notes, adding meeting notes, and I can also work on the whiteboard. So there's definitely different ways. You can see here, awesome, right? I can continue my work here. I can go into my meeting notes and I can add, this is going to be pre-meeting notes, right? And again, I can use blah, 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 blah. So you can see that I'm adding, going to my files. Again, they're supposed to show up here, but they're not. I don't understand it. But what I can do is go back into chat, go into icebreakers, and I can clean up some of the stuff. This is what they were asking me to do. So I can actually go in here and put no color. Oops. Right, no color, change that up. Wonder Woman can open that up as well because she was a part of that meeting group. So she can go into that icebreakers and you'll see that in a second. She'll join this particular file and she can see stuff. So she sees what I'm doing. In a couple of seconds, we're going to see what she's done. She's like, no, I need that. Right? No, she's asking questions about the participants maybe. So you can see there, I'm seeing where she's working again. It all works the same way. So this is all in chat. I'm going to close this. Wonder Woman's still working on it. I'm going to go to my calendar. I'm going to go into that calendar invite. And guess what? There's my files tab. There's the file that we were working on. And now I can be working on it here in my calendar. Wonder Woman still working on it, right? I can add things, etc. So you can see there's different ways, even though Wonder Woman's still working on it. I'm just going to give a little bit. Okay, so we're all working on it. So this is really a huge opportunity for collaboration. And this is before the meeting even started. So no longer are we file sharing. Okay, you got this meeting, do this, come it back to me. Who else has to fill it out, right? And you've got a lot of different versions and you're renaming. Don't have to worry about that. Version control is built in. If I click, sorry, I'm just going to show you again. So right from the file, I'm going to click on the File tab. I'm going to go into Info, and I'm going to go into Version Control. And you can see all of the different version controls right back to July 10th. I can save a copy. I can go into an older version and I can restore it from there. So you can see there's different opportunities for that. I'm just going to go back here to the document. And again, all the conversation pieces are all available to you. And guess what? I can open it in a browser and it still behaves the same. So lots of activity there. That is all from our chat. Right? So if I go back to my chat and I go into my post, where was I? July 31st training, right? So that is going to be separate than from what we're working on in that particular meeting. Because remember, we can have more people added to that meeting than we had in our group chat. So again, different files, different group, now all together in one hub, all working together. Any work that happens when you're in the meeting will be done in here as well. You'll have visibility to it. And again, it's a chat, so I can hide it, but I can still search for it later by going into my search and finding my training, July 31st. And there's my meeting, right? Because there's my chat that I had earlier. Now this is my meeting. Okay, and away we go. That's a lot of information. So it's 12 to 14. What I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to do a chat. Now, you can start a chat with Wonder Woman by up here, going into New, putting her name in there, and then coming down into the Compose box and clicking on the A. You can add a file from here. Make sure it's nothing that is sensitive information. Obviously, you're sharing it with Wonder Woman and only I see it. Just let you know about that. And also, what you can do, because this is not a group chat, you can add Aquaman. Once you add Aquaman to this group, then you can start scheduling. So you really can't schedule a meeting with a one-on-one, but you definitely can. So let me go Wonder Woman again. Okay. Oh, yes, I lied. You can schedule a meeting with her as well. So chat with Wonder Woman, right? Start a new chat with Wonder Woman, add an attachment and add her to a calendar. Okay. And I'll give you about 10 minutes. So 12:20 will come, 25, sorry, will come back. And again, this is your learning opportunity. Practice it. Let's do this. If you have any questions, please ask me. Okay. Any questions before you guys start? Does everybody understand my expectation? Okay, I'm here. Let me know. Looking at Wonder Woman, seeing what's coming through to her. So Mahesh, awesome. You sent a file. That's fabulous. If you go into your files tab, you should be seeing that file. So it's working for you guys. I don't know why it wasn't working for me, but it is working. So if you were to go into your files tab, you would see your org chart right there. Good work. And then you can see if I go into it and you're in it, you'll see Wonder Woman's in it playing around, but I won't touch it because it's a beautiful org chart. Plus it's PDF. So what I could do is start a conversation or continue that conversation or add a chat. Nice work. Okay. Okay, I just put a poll up, but I think it's the wrong one. So because it didn't work, let's close that down. Okay. Excellent. So there's a poll that I just put up, everybody. Just take a peek at it. It's like a little bit of a knowledge check, but it's quite simple. Um, some are having some fun. I love it. Guys, this is your opportunity. Please use it. So I see one person's in progress for the polling. Just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. It's a good idea to kind of take a peek, make sure you're doing your own knowledge check, make sure you understood everything all right. Wonder Woman's lonely over here. I've just got little one chat from Mahesh. Anybody want some, having some challenges? Okay. Give one more minute for the poll, and then I'm going to shut it down. Okay, I'm going to close that poll. I'm going to just put the poll results up. Alrighty. So I can manage the amount of Teams activity notifications I receive in my profile setting notifications. Absolutely true. Good work. I can check the overall activity I have in Metro Teams by checking this: chat, activity, files, teams, and channels. Yes and no. The answer I was looking for was activity. So in that activity view, that's what I was talking about. That's where you will see your overall activity for all chat channels, teams, etc. So yes and no. Yes, I was just looking for the activity, but good work. All right, I'm going to go into a new poll. Got a nice little, another little quick one for you. Oops. Let's see how we're feeling there. I'm going to open that poll. There's a couple of you that are participating. I love it. So let's do this poll here with the minute we have. Oh, thank you. Hello, Pam. Just another little while. Finish that poll. Okay, there's one more in progress here from polling. Once that person is finished, I will open the poll. There we go. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Everybody can see the results. Everybody can hear me because I've had myself on mute. Okay, good. So while chatting, if I want to progress the conversation to a call, I can click on the phone or video icons at the top. That's right. Correctamundo. If I progress a one-on-one call chat conversation to a phone call, I can record the meeting. Absolutely, which is really great. And remember, when you do that, that becomes a chat, and that's where the video will reside. When I upload a file to chat from the chat view, where is that file stored? It is actually, yes, it is stored in Microsoft Teams, but in the background, whenever you're sending any files and sharing files and chats, it's being put into a new folder that Microsoft has created called OneDrive for Business. It is in the background. So keeping in mind when we are sharing our files, if I share a file with you and I leave the organization, Pam and her folks will get rid of my license, shut me all down. And then what happens is after 30 days, those files will be no longer. So we're going to put a process together in terms of file transferring and who we will transfer those files to. And we'll have that done hopefully by the fall, Pam? I can't imagine that it would be much longer getting that process all set and good for everybody. But just in the meantime, if that ever happens and anybody leaves, what you can do, and let's say anytime, and this is can be your best practice, is when you are in a chat and you are shared a file. What you can do too is that when you're in files, it's not going to show me my file, is it? I don't know why it's not showing me my files. Anywho, the files in here? Nope. I don't know why it's doing that to me today. Maybe it's because I'm hardwired. Do you think it should work even better? Sorry, guys, these are my complications here. So what you can do is you can actually download a file. So I'm going to go into a Teams and just show you files. So here, if I know that one of these files, this one here is done, that Edgar had sent up, I can actually click on that and I can go here or here, download, but for us in chats, it'll be at the dots and you can download. So if you have a final product documentation that is final and that's the final results, you can download it and save it to your file. So what you'll notice is once you download, it's going to come down in here. It's going to go down into your downloads and it's going to be right up here. So you can see it's going to be right in there. I can open it. I can edit it. So what it's going to do is it's going to open up in Word. I can enable it to edit. And then of course I can save as. So that way you will always have that file for your references as well. So that's kind of how we're going to play around with that. How does that feel for everybody? I'm just going to go back into Teams. What questions do you guys have? Because we did quite a talk about it a lot. If you have any questions, the videos are there for your reference, as is our FAQs and any job aids that we have sent. This comparison chart that you're seeing right now is also on our self-serve portal, and it really just gives a snapshot of where Skype and Teams are the same and really the augmented features that Teams will be providing for you guys with your everyday, right? So starting a chat with individuals or group, turning a chat into a call, file sharing with people in chat, which is really just transferring and adding emojis. So really what is added here is that they've added GIFs and memes with the ability inside Teams, that persistent conversation. So no longer are your conversations disjointed within Skype, like in your email as well as in Skype. And of course, you saw all the way through the training, all of the history, even when we hide and we bring that chat back, all of the history is there. And then with our file sharing, you saw that as well, that it was very easy to share, same time, version control, everything, all being conversations, all being in one. And of course, with our calendar, being able to invite groups of people to a calendar invite is very helpful. I didn't show it to you, but I'm going to show it to you quickly right here, right now, is just in calendar. Let me just bring myself, oh, sorry about that. Let's do that one more time. I'm just going to bring this up. Okay. So in our calendar, you can do a meet now and a new meeting. So a meet now, I've got one more minute. I can title it, right? So I can call this training. Oops. I could have just written on top of that one there. I'm going to call it training. Oh my Lord. Training. Okay. And I just joined now. Ugh, don't want y'all to see me. I'm scary looking. So as you can see, no one's invited right now. What pops up automatically is this guy right here, participants. So this is when I would add Wonder Woman. Okay, so again, Wonder Woman's getting a phone call. She's going to accept. And on her end, you have an opportunity to put your camera or mute before they even join, right? So now she's joined. You can see same stuff, right? It's all the same. So that's your meet now. You can add people as you go. You can do all of the stuff that we've done in every other meeting that I've showed you. I'm going to hang up. Wonder Woman, because that was a meeting, she's going to have to hang up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in calendar your meeting. So again, looks very similar to what we were looking at earlier when we did it from the icon on the bottom of your compose box. Again, same idea. You put the title in, so it could be Terrain in, and it's going to behave the same way. Wonder Woman, Aquaman. Again, she's not busy. I can go into my scheduling assistant anytime and move it around to where she's available. So there we go. And again, I have no availability in terms of adding a file, but once I send it, and there it is, there's all my abilities again, exactly like I showed you earlier. And that really is an intro. I showed you a lot. I understand you're not going to retain it. That's why I do direct you to the links into our self-serve portal. And if you have any questions, you can always, always, always reach out to me, send me a chat, and I will help you in any way I can. I want to say thank you and I appreciate your time today, and also let you know that you will be receiving a survey sometime tonight. I love your comments and I appreciate them, good or bad, always a learning. That makes me better just for the next group or the next training. So thank you very much, everybody. To leave your meeting, it's just that X to close down right here. So you can leave the meeting by clicking on the X with that WebEx toolbar. I hope that I see you for session number 2, Teams in Training sometime, and have a great long weekend. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pam.